So my name is Robin. Before we go on to the specifics, and I'm sure you guys are already exhausted, and I won't take your time much. And I will be talking about designing for the invisible user, right? So about me, I work as a designer at GeekyAnts, and I am interested. Like a lot of people have some crazy interest, like being a dog parent and all. I am very simple in that sense. I just love cinema and I play a lot of not a lot of sports, just one or two, and yeah. Please don't go with the hype that they created. Yeah. So who is the invisible user? So the next user might be the AI itself. Or one of our questions in one of the previous sessions were when I'm typing red input, it just shows me red input. But if I say I like green, it agrees with me. So somewhere the AI is trying to having that people pleasing mentality, right? Designers usually focus on humans, screens, flows, feedback. But now agents in the sense AI agents has started doing these things like booking meetings, writing emails, summarizing your content itself, right? So these agents interact with your product as well. When you look into Notion or the Gemini itself, which apparently oversees the entire Google, whatever you have connected with, right? These agents also interact with your product, right? But just in a different way, right? Yeah. So this is what we are going to talk about. AX. With like, if you were paying attention with a little bit, I have said AX is essentially agent experience, right? While there is this user and there is the product, right? In the agent related products, that could be the Gemini or the Notion, which has agent related functionalities. Agent acts as a middleman there, right? So agent means AX means designing so that your agents can read your system, make smart decisions, and help users without messing up. Just like we make interfaces friendly for people, we now have to make systems readable for AI, right? So what does this new UX look like? So before, like, go on to this, is there anything called as old UX or new UX? No, right? So basically, uh, essentially, AX is not a new discipline in itself. It's part of UX only, but it enhances the experience of both uh, the product and the end user itself. So we are not chucking the end user away when we are talking about AX, right? We are talking uh, all these things are part of the user experience that we are talking about. In traditional terms, when we talk about UX, it's for users. We are talking about visuals and flows. We are talking about usability. I'm sure we might have come across this term called DX, right? Where developer experience, where it's for developers, where we try to design for API, like we simplify the APIs and docs, and so that these things can be built fast. And essentially, AX is for those agents that we are going to work, like who is going to work on the user's behalf on the system itself, right? So they primarily focus on structured logic and metadata, right? And understand and act well, right? Um, the visual is not exactly the endpoint. It's what will make the agent work more efficiently, probably like with whatever metadata that we provide. It's able to get more decisions more easier, right? So this is one example. I'm sure this is not something that has been released here yet. Spotify AI DJ is basically it curates music according to your listening habits. It might sound like a playlist creation, like we have that smart shuffle when we are playing the music, right? But it's basically giving music according to what what the habit of the user is. Probably the day of time, it will recognize. If it's evening, then probably more soothing music it will recommend. So this is what AI DJ does. So the Spotify AI DJ does, right? So what has set this in place, what has made this happen, right? It's basically rich behavioral data. It's taking in data in a real time, right? It could be skips, right? For example, if let's say if I like a song and then some other songs come and I quickly skip it, that song and its genre might not be for me. That's what my the AI might see, right? And structured genre and mood tagging. So each songs have been tagged according to their genre or their whatever mood they're get. So in that sense, there is a lot of structure that is happening with the metadata with the songs as well, right? And with this you can also interact with it, right? You can say you can converse with it. Says even let's say if like in all the talks that we have mentioned, the AI is not perfect, right? It does not it cannot give 100% of that output. So you can provide feedback by conversation, right? That is there context aware logic that mimics a human DJ. So this also talks back to us, right? Probably not as the wedding DJs that we are accustomed to, but bit more sophisticated DJs. Great. So the principle of AX design, right? It's very human centric. Again, like I mentioned, we are not chucking the users out of this entire flow. It's very much pertain to human, right? AX starts with the human. Agents are just the medium, right? Agent accessibility. Again, what all access does the agent have? It could be well documented APIs. It could be, what is this metadata? Let's say in the case of an Excel, right? Or a CSV file, what is the metadata that we are that the system is recognizing? That accessibility needs to be there to the agent, right? Contextual alignment. No agent is useful without the right context. Coming back to the question one of us had, right? It's basically if we are able to give the background with a background image, the surface color, then probably it could say that red might not be the right color for you, right? So that kind of context needs to be set, right? Interactivity patterns, sensitive flows like safe and repeatable patterns, like probably payments, right? All these things needs to be fixed and very much ingrained into the data that the agent will receive, right? Yeah, differentiated agent interaction. It should know when it's a user. The system should know when it should be a user and when it's an agent, right? Moving on, as we are evolving, right? As with the new wings of designs are coming up. I'm sure a lot of us might have seen a Puneet Chawla video that says new like design jobs, right? It has AX as well. It has VUI design, where it's voice user interface design. In all these things, a role of the designer is also evolving accordingly, right? So from the traditional UX designers or UI designers, we are going into intent architect, right? Who The intent architect is basically where we are mentioning and we are making solidifying the intent of that agent when it's particular when it's performing a particular function, right? It could be summarizing a particular blog, right? So in that case, the agent should be able to see what all metadata is there. That is the heading, text, sub points, and all these things are there, and how it is able to recognize that and able to give us an output as well, right? So instead of we are going from screen thinkers to system thinkers, right? um, where like the nuance of the product or the system itself we are exploring here, right? It's not just okay, we have four screens, we'll create four screens, but it's what those four screens will have. How will the agent interact with those four screens? That is what as and when we move forward with AI, that is like we're already like we are all scared as to how the AI is coming, how fast AI is coming, if we are able to catch up or not, right? So we design these systems, we understand and we make sure that the agents that are in the systems, they are able to recognize and sorry yeah recognize the data that are there. Any I'm sure, I'm hoping I'm not going too fast. All cool? Great. Perfect. um so I have given you a very brief understanding of what AX design is. And also, this is a very designer specific session that I'm giving. Obviously, there are a lot of layers into it when it comes to APIs, and when it comes to the development experience as well, how they are also being integrated. And like all of the talks that we have seen, AI and like, the developers and like while the design system thinking design system session was happening, we understood that, and it's not it's common knowledge that developers and designers work hand in hand, right? So that way, how is the DX experience happening? All these things we are able to uh, substantiate it, right? So right now I just gave you a very brief. Obviously, this is a very new field, and a lot of data is there when it comes to how developers will use it, right? um, right now what we'll do is I'm hoping you guys are a little bit ready for an activity. Please don't say no. Yeah, it's very simple activity. We'll basically brainstorm, right, as to how an agent would think. We'll take one small feature, right, and then we'll try to dissect it. We'll try to understand the agent's behavior, right, so that we are also able to, like, at least in a small way, we are also able to understand the agent behavior. I would ask you to take your phones and just scan this. And this is basically, we have created this so that you don't have to speak out. If you're too shy, you can just type it out. So we are going to, reverse engineer an already existing feature, right? That Notion has, that all the documents, that all everything that you put, right? We'll just reverse engineer and understand how this particular agent would function, right? Where should the agent act? Like, what is that point where the agent should, start summarizing your document? What is that point, right? I'll give an example. It could be after the document has probably 300 words, post 300 words. It's a very, very fairly simple and very weird, probably, like thing. But one of the first option is very like something that is there, the first option itself, right? When it is like, we don't need have a trigger, probably have an option itself that summarize this part is what I have written. When someone clicks summarize button, yeah, when you ask the agent to do so, right, should act before the product life cycle. Oh, yo. And when I wanted to, oh, of course, nice. I like the sassy replies a lot. That's nice. So also, just FYI, I forgot to mention, whatever we decide right here, it's not necessarily what option might have done, right? It's something else. But I just want us to think as to how we could get there, right? How we as designers could bring this into our workflow when we are designing certain agent related features. What rule finds the right time? I'm sure a lot of people have already answered that in the previous thing, but I'm sure I could. How does it surface its action to the user? What is that visual cue that the user could get? So, are we? Is it just us? Are we able to understand somewhere how the agent would is reacting to whatever we have put? What metadata does the agent show to justify its action? Yeah, like, no. So, what is the data that it will show? Let's say if you click on summarize, what would it show? Like, how would it show that it's by the agent, and not something that you might think, oh, did I type this out? How would it be different? It's fairly simple. Like, we don't have to go into very detailed thinking. It could be a block that says created by that can also be there. How does the user correct or confirm the agent's behavior? Just tell it, lie detector. I think. Okay. But this is more. Let's say if the AI has done it, how would you give the feedback then? Cool. I think with this, right? With this, I'm sure that we are not fully understanding the AX design, right? As to in this activity, what, like, I would like to put out the question to you. What was the purpose? What insight did you gain from the activity? So that it's for me only, so that I could get feedback. With this, I didn't mean to, give you the full gist or full understanding of AX. It's not possible in 20 minutes. Even if I try to cram the entire AX, you would just snooze, right? So what I've done is basically I've given the resources, right, of all the places that I have checked, right? All the references that I have gone through, there is a lot of data there, right? Lot of understanding there, right? You could go through it. There is a lot of 3 to 4 links over here, right? Where you could go. Salesforce has done a research on it, right? So you could obviously take part in it and then understand this in a much more deeper sense, right? I What I've given you is a very very basic understanding, right, in a very designer specific language, right? Also, in terms, if I had gone to the developers side, I would have confused you and myself. So I just wanted to keep this a very design specific, where we are brainstorming on how the agents would work, right? But if you want to learn more, obviously the resources there. So I think yeah this is Robin. And AI is not the death of civilization like we all think it is. It's just the birth of critical thinking. So thank you all for tolerating me. Yeah.